Hi, Melissa. How you doing? Okay, I'd like to go through your presentation. Now we've got the first page, and one of the things, one of the requirements of the presentation, if you take a look over here, is to label and describe, including a materials list for the booth design. Okay, and labeling means that you point and explain, point and describe, point and describe. So this isn't labeled. So you're kind of straying from the project requirements for this particular assignment. Okay, so asking you to label and show sustainability. Now you're talking about your booth, and one of the things I want to mention about your booth is that right here, the booth I have created is sustainable and simple. Most of the materials are made from post-consumer waste and that have been recycled. Well, that's a comment that you'll need to validate that comment. Now again, we can't just say, okay, it's sustainable because I say it's sustainable. Okay, or it's saying it's sustainable because I'm using post-consumer waste. You have to really prove this stuff, Melissa. You really do. Otherwise, it's just not professional. Okay, so you really have to point to each one of the materials and tell what post-consumer wastes you are using, okay, and in what percentages, et cetera, et cetera. Try to be as professional as you can here. I also think this is a mistake. I think it's a mistake to bring tables or to try to bring materials from home. As a trade show, presumably this will be moving locations. It's basically, I'm not saying you can't bring a table from home for part of, but it's just, I don't think it's the most professional approach, to building a sustainable trade show booth. I would really prefer that you use commercial based, products. And basically that's what this whole assignment is. This whole course is about, really. One of the course objectives is to get students to get out there and really start doing research on what's available so that when the time comes in your design career, when you're given a sustainable project, you'll know where to start, okay? And using materials from home is probably not the strongest indication that you have researched and that you are familiar with sustainable products and sustainable materials and items that you can use in your trade show booth. Okay. Other than that, I think the rest of this is pretty good, where you really start talking about some of the materials itself. Okay. So this is the informational collateral, and this piece is confusing me a little bit because you're saying that you want to save the ocean, you want to save the coral, and you want to make a change. Then you're giving an image of healthy coral and then damaged coral, and then you have a website. Then over here, you talk about warm water temperature, how it destroys the coral, and then reduce, recycle, and then the damage cost to the Great Barrier Reef. Okay. Finally, you're saying, okay, bring this to the aquarium for free entry. But where is going to the aquarium helping the cause? This is where I'm getting confused. Okay, you're saying make a change, save the ocean, and save the coral, but you never tell us how. What can I do to help? That's what you really need to tell me in these panels right here. Okay, I mean, you can use all of this warmer water and all of these facts and figures you can use as part of the backdrop on your booth, so that the viewer walks up and gets a little bit of a background of what the problem is. Okay, then the informational collateral piece, I think, should revolve around, introduce the problem, but tell me what I can do. Tell me what to do to make a difference. Bring this to Monterey Bay Aquarium to earn a free admission. But that right there is saying, okay, hang on to this, you'll get free admission to the aquarium, but it's not helping the cause at all. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm saying, because right now this giveaway piece should be tied in with the cause. And right now going to the aquarium isn't helping the cause. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that now it's definitely helping sustainability. You've alleviated the problem of somebody dumping this on a trade show floor, but what happens when it gets to the aquarium? They're just going to throw it away, or what? There's no explanation. Is this a sister project with the aquarium? Is the aquarium part of this? Does the aquarium then recycle these and donate the money to the cause, to the Make a Change cause? Just see what I'm saying? It's got to be tied together. This whole thing has got to be tied together. Okay, now we got the collateral, and one thing that really, really, really is bothering me about the collateral is your first sentence. Now, we just got done talking last week about, okay, is it feasible to offer a bottle that you can only use a couple of times? And that is part of the reuse in the reuse, reduce, recycle formula. Reusing a bottle only a couple of times does not point to sustainability. Okay, we talked about that. Now, I read your response and discussion board, and I responded to that. You were saying something to the effect of, if something gives, something else has to take. And that's very, very true. However, this is not a solution. Saying just last week, you said you can only use the bottles a couple of times, a few times. And this week, you're saying you can use the bottles over and over. However, they're the same materials. Okay, so somewhere there's an inconsistency. Either the bottles can be used over or they can't. But you can't just say they can be used over because not using them over is not sustainable. Do you see what I'm saying? I would recommend changing your materials list to something that can be used over and over. Okay, that's a pretty big inconsistency, and I think that's really pointing to the fact that you could be doing a little bit more research in the project itself. Okay. Finally, the last thing I want to mention is that you can't, that currently, and if I'm wrong, please show me some statistics and research, but currently there is no technology in place that allows you to laser etch a bottle that would be thin enough to use as a water bottle. Typically, laser etching is on meant for a substrate that's got a little bit more rigidity to it. Now, I'm not saying you can't laser etch plastic. You can. However, typically it's a really thick walled plastic. Laser etching this little thin plastic bottle is probably going to damage the bottle to the point where it probably is not going to be feasible. Okay, so that's a concern in itself. All right, so other than that, I mean, I've given you a lot of things to think about, and I'm giving you a lot of things to think about each week, Melissa, and that's because I think that you're close to getting it, but I don't think you're there yet. Once you do, when you nail this and you start going, oh God, I get it. Now everything has to fit together. It's going to really make a lot more sense, a lot of my comments, once you realize. And the light bulb goes off at different times for different students. And I don't think it has for you yet. And that's not saying it won't. I think that you're right there, Melissa. And that's why I'm spending extra time with you, is because I really think you're close. But little things, just little things that aren't adding up. Okay. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to let me know. All right. Thank you.